Turning now to Capitol Hill, where a group of House Republicans have introduced legislation to ensure that service members do not lose their VA benefits if they choose not to get the COVID vaccine. The man leading the charge is Texas Congressman Brian Babin. He says this bill will ultimately kill President Biden's vaccine mandate for the military moving forward. The congressman joins us now on the program. Thank you for coming on today, this Veterans Day of all days. As we know, the Pentagon reporting that about 97% of all active duty troops have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. But for those who have not chosen to do so, tell us why you're pushing for this bill. Are you seeing some support in Congress?
Absolutely. Great to be with you, Emma. We are definitely getting support. We have a number of co-sponsors with us, many of them veterans themselves, as am I. But we have seen the history of this administration under President Biden. They prioritize military wokeness over military readiness. We've seen that over and over again, much to the detriment of our national security. He's cutting defense funding by billions. I can tell you that the Russians and Chinese are certainly not doing that. And let's don't forget what Biden did in Afghanistan. It was the most inept, incompetent withdrawal. You couldn't call it anything but a retreat, leaving our allies, leaving our own American citizens there. And so we have to protect our veterans. And we've seen these COVID mandates. We're in the process possibly of losing about half of our Border Patrol, and we're going to lose many of our brave veterans. And I can just tell you this, that his authoritarian mandates are going to have to be challenged at every single step. And that's the reason I introduced our Veterans Earned It Act to ensure that no serviceman will be losing his veterans for not taking a vaccine, and which is his right. And simply, I will not stand by and watch while Biden steals from our veterans what they bravely earned. Our service members didn't fight for our freedom just to have their own freedoms taken away.
You know, you mentioned Border Patrol agents as well, facing that November 22nd deadline to get vaccinated themselves or possibly lose their jobs. Talk to me about how that could impact our current situation at the border when you've got members who would no longer be working in that position.
Well, Emma, the border is an absolute disaster. The Biden administration, it took them months and months and months to come up and just even say that it was a crisis. It's much more than even a crisis now. It's national security, it's public health, it is over, and it's crime. It is unbelievable what is happening down there. We had another record month in October. We had 165,000 illegals come across. We're on track for 2 million illegals being apprehended by the year's end. And to top it off, this administration is going to wind up giving cash to illegals, up to $450,000 apiece. I didn't believe it at first, but in fact, even our president,
he said it was garbage, right? He said it was garbage, but then he kind of walked that statement back. And we're still left without answers as to what these payments might be. Is that a concern to you, Congressman?
Oh, it's absolutely a concern. It's just another example of the incompetency and the detachment from reality that this president has, and the wokeness, as I said in the beginning of our segment. But I can tell you that his vaccine mandates could cost us up to 1/2 of our Border Patrol agents that have not been vaccinated or chose not to, or had COVID themselves. I'm a healthcare practitioner. If you've had COVID, which I have myself, I'm fully vaccinated but still had a breakthrough case. But if you've had COVID, you have the best immunity you can possibly get, far better than any vaccine that you could get.
Sure. The discussion of natural immunity.
Natural immunity. And
right.
We can't afford to lose half of our Border Patrol. Okay. Not at this time.
Well, at this point, again, natural immunity doesn't count for being fully vaccinated, as we've seen. So we're going to wait and see what happens on that November 22nd deadline. Congressman Brian Babin, thanks for taking the time today. Happy Veterans Day to you.
Happy Veterans Day to you, too. God bless, Emma.
You too.